Sprinkler systems are supposed to protect you if a fire starts, but one Harriman family was actually harmed by them.
Now that family is warning people of the potential danger. Nicole Gonzalez has their story.
Yeah, we often hear about instances where these types of sprinklers save the day, but in the last year, one person has died and several people were injured because the sprinklers made the fire worse. Sprinklers couldn't save Allix Thrall's apartment. In fact, since the June 24th blaze, we've learned sprinklers added fuel to the fire.
I'm feeling extremely angry.
It's just mind-boggling to us.
Allix and her 3-year-old son Luke received 2nd and 3rd degree burns over their entire body. Investigators say Luke started the initial fire by playing with matches, setting off their apartment sprinklers. Later, they discovered the chemical propylene glycol in the apartment. The common antifreeze is combined with water in sprinkler systems to keep the water from freezing. The flammable substance is what detectives say helped spread the fire in a hurry.
The sprinkler systems are supposed to be our safety line and a defense in fire, so it was very startling.
The news is especially disturbing since someone died in a similar incident in Truckee, California last year. In the Harriman case, both barely made it out alive.
It sends a chill down your spine because that is there to protect your family, and in our case, it actually caused an explosion and burnt our kids.
They want antifreeze banned from residential use in sprinkler systems. So far, the National Fire Protection Agency has listened. They say new residences cannot install antifreeze systems. However, the NFPA is not a regulatory agency, therefore Utah doesn't have to follow suit. Right now, the state can only strongly recommend using water-only systems.
Today, the Insider Exclusive takes you behind the headlines to examine how dangerous and deadly some fire sprinkler systems really are and how they nearly killed a young, beautiful Utah mom, Allix Thrall, and her 3-year-old son, Luke. By combining a dangerous cocktail of propylene glycol, your everyday antifreeze solution, with water in a combination found in many fire sprinkler systems today. And it can turn your friendly fire sprinkler into a flamethrower capable of burning down your home in minutes at over 1,100 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll also show you how the world's leading authority and advocate of fire prevention, electrical, and building safety, the National Fire Protection Association, with a membership totaling more than 81,000 professionals worldwide and more than 80 national trade organizations, has banned the use of antifreeze solutions in residential fire sprinkler systems for all new construction pending further investigation. Today, the Insider Exclusive presents Fire Sprinkler Disasters, the Allix Thrall story, and how her lawyers, Mitch Jensen and Steve Jensen, at the law firm of Siegfried and Jensen, are getting justice for Allix and her son, earning them the highest respect from citizens and lawyers alike as one of the best plaintiff trial lawyers in Utah and in the nation. They have seen many innocent, hardworking people suffer needless injury, and because of that, they are driven to help people who have been harmed by the negligent actions of others. Their goal? Not only to get justice for Allix and Luke Thrall, but also to make sure that all fire sprinkler systems are safer for all Americans. And no one understands and is more courageous in talking about these real dangers than Allix Thrall herself.
I went through something horrible and something that would change my life, but if I could leave my son out of it and I could do it again, and I would, because it was a mistake and it shouldn't have happened, and it's something that could happen again and it could hurt people, and if I could prevent that, if I could save hundreds of lives, then I would.
Hi, I'm Steve Murphy, and this is the Insider Exclusive, live from Salt Lake City, Utah, at the law firm of Siegfried and Jensen and Steele and Biggs. It is my great pleasure to introduce Mitch Jensen and Steve Jensen to the show. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We have a rather interesting case. When you first told me about the case, fire sprinkler systems and the dangers involved with it, geez, I had no idea you know, what this case was all about or the dangers involved. Tell us a little bit about this particular case and your client, Allix Thrall.
This has to be one of the most surprising, out of left field cases that I've ever seen. I've been doing this for over 30 years. And this case is just about a system that's supposed to put out a fire. Instead, it's going to blow you up.
Yeah, no one would have ever guessed that. Becomes a flamethrower, in fact, right?
Exactly.
So tell us what happened to Allix and her son Luke.
Well, Allix and her 3-year-old son Luke were enjoying the day together. They watched a movie and both fell asleep. She was on the couch, he was on the floor. A week or so earlier, Allix was interested in the candles burning on a birthday cake at a party that he had attended. So he was interested in fire, and he'd asked his mother about matches, and he was fascinated. So she took the matches and put them on the highest shelf, the furthest possible place out of reach. But somehow he saw where she'd put them. And he woke up before she did, climbed up on the kitchen counter and got those matches. And while she was asleep, he was trying to light the matches and caught a pillow on fire. And that pillow sent a heat wave up to the sprinkler head, and out came an explosive, flammable fluid that severely burned them both and their dog.
And that flammable fluid was actually a combination of water and antifreeze, wasn't it?
Well, it's supposed to be combined and mixed properly.
Right.
But what in fact happened was the concentrated flammable fluid had settled, and that's what came out first. And so there was very little water in the initial spray that came out of the firehead.
Right. Now, Steve, I know you're a little bit more familiar with the National Fire Protection Association and some of their recommendations. Talk a little bit about the dangers with antifreeze in these solutions.
Right, well the NFPA recently, back in August of 2010, put out a notice to all sprinkler contractors, fire departments, explaining the dangers that antifreeze poses in these sorts of systems. And what's particularly concerning about this is we've had prior incidents occur before.
Right.
And these were also investigated by the NFPA. And
which is basically an association of many members, but it isn't a government regulatory agency, is
no,
it?
it's not a government organization.
Yeah.
It's made up of individuals in the fire sector, fire industry.
People who are interested in making sure that consumers are safe, right?
Right.
The problem is, since they are not a government agency, they have no power to make changes. They can make recommendations, right?
Right, they can make recommendations. Now, some states will incorporate by law their standards and require...
And have some states done that?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Some
now,
states have.
As the audience watches this, you know, and they're in their office and they have a sprinkler system, how do they know what solution is in their sprinkler system?
Well, they probably don't unless they
I mean, is there a way to
out.
check? The sprinkler system's put in, the sprinkler system is put in, is the solution put in by the same people who put the sprinkler system in?
Typically, that's the way we've seen it in this instance with the Thralls, is the installing contractor who installed the sprinkler system also injected the antifreeze in the system.
Right. Now, we have with us today your client, the victim, Allix Thrall. But before we bring her on, I want to show our audience her remembrances of what happened that day.
So when I woke up, I woke up to a big bang, and I seen the sprinklers come on, and the fire got bigger, like the flames were just all the way up to the ceiling, and I just immediately started screaming for my son. I had to stand up on the couch and walk through the fire because it was right next to the couch where I was sleeping, and I had to run through it. And I was still hollering for my son, just franticking, looking for him. All I cared about was just finding my son. And it seemed like a lifetime. I couldn't find him anywhere. I was scared to death. I was even looking in the fire just to see if he was there. And it was some miracle. I've seen these little hands just poking out because it was very dark. There was a lot of smoke. I remember I couldn't breathe. I was but all I cared about was finding him. But I seen those little hands, and I was just, this feeling came over me. I was just so thankful that I found him, that he wasn't in the fire like I thought. There was flames everywhere though, around us, and I remember grabbing his hands, and our skin stuck together, and I could feel that it was just falling off of him.
It's my great pleasure to introduce Allix Thrall to the show. Welcome to the show, Allix.
Thank you.
My God, you're wearing this protective mask now. Do you have to wear that all the time?
23 hours a day.
Really?
Yep, just take it off for bathing.
Is it helping you heal your skin now?
Yes, that's its purpose.
And also on your arm?
Yes.
How long have you been wearing this?
Since the accident in June, so it's been about 8 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Take us back to that day when this fire happened. What do you remember?
I remember just starting on a normal day. Me and my son usually take a nap, and so we laid down to take a nap. We actually ended up falling asleep on the couch, and he woke up before me, and I guess at one point in time he had seen where I keep the matches.
Right.
And so
he lit the matches.
Lit the matches. Yeah, he ended up starting a pillow on fire, and for some reason I still hadn't woken up yet, and I heard a big sound, and
an explosion kind of a thing?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it was, if it was the popping of sprinklers or the alarm or something, but and yeah, it was just.
And when you woke up, you saw fire all over the place.
Fire was everywhere.
And you didn't see your son.
I didn't see my son, and it instinctively, I just didn't matter where I was going in the house. I just walking through flames, freaking out, just looking everywhere for him, screaming his name, just couldn't find him anywhere.
But you found him and fortunately got out of there, but you have been burned over what percentage of your body?
36% of my body.
And what degree burns?
3rd and 2nd degree.
3rd and 2nd?
Mm-hmm.
How long do the doctors anticipate that you'll have to go through this rehabilitation program?
They usually say it takes about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about how long I'll keep these strobes on. And yeah, it's usually about a year.
And what do you do what is your daily activity now? Do you have to go into like a burn center, or what do you do?
I do. They've actually cut down our time because we're doing so well. We usually just go like once a month now.
You go once a month to a burn center?
To the burn center. We have a clinic appointment that checks our burns, and we also have physical therapy.
You were in a coma for a while, weren't you?
I was sedated on a ventilator for about 4 weeks.
Right, it was touch and go.
Mm-hmm. It was. It wasn't just the burns. From cause of the burns, there was other problems that went wrong, and so
Yeah.
I was very, very sick.
How's your son today, Luke?
He's bounced right back. He really has. He has problems with his arms still. They're still healing. You know, but he doesn't let anything slow him down.
Mm-hmm. Steve, this will be an ongoing rehabilitation for her because after she takes that off, there's some scar tissue, right?
Yes.
And with surgical techniques today, they can do some pretty wonderful things, can't they?
This mask is just done wonders.
Has it?
Yes, it has.
Yeah, because we showed your videotape of your deposition. Mm-hmm. And what is it exactly? How does it improve your skin?
So it keeps the blood from rising to the surface.
Oh, really?
And so it pressurizes the scarring. Mm-hmm. And so the scar needs that blood to form.
Yeah.
And so it's keeping it pressurized. Like on normal skin, your skin is hard enough to, I don't know how to explain it. It's amazing what it does.
What does justice mean to you in this case? What do you want to see done?
I need something given back to me and my son because our life was changed completely. It'll never be the same. And so I want my life back, and I want Luke to be taken care of. And
Well, you are a brave woman, and we certainly wish the best for you. You're in good hands, and I want to thank you very much for being on the program.
Thank you.
In any case, experts sometimes make that case. And today we have with us Jake Jacobson of Burn Pattern Analysis, who's going to share with us some information about fire sprinkler systems. And welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate being here.
Tell us a little bit about the dangers of fire sprinkler systems.
Well, in the last few years and most recently, there's been a few incidents that have happened that have opened the eyes of the NFPA and the fire industry at the hazards of applying antifreeze to a residential sprinkler system.
A lot of people don't know this, but as a result of this show, people are more aware that the majority of fire sprinkler systems have a combination of water and antifreeze. Antifreeze to prevent the water from freezing up in colder climates, so it functions properly, right? But it seems to me there's no regulation about how that composition is put together. Often a plumber or someone, as we've learned earlier in the show, might be mixing a vat with an oar paddle, right?
That's correct.
What kind of recommendations as a burn pattern expert do you have to this industry so we don't have these problems anymore?
Well, obviously there has to be some consideration into alternatives. The system as it is applied now, more commonly the system is provided with the amount of antifreeze in an overkill situation. In other words, they take the worst case scenario and then add an extra factor to the freezing point, and that needs to take more consideration or better consideration into what the actual temperatures are going to be,
so in other words,
and what's necessary in the system.
So in other words, rather than feeling they're not putting enough antifreeze, they put more in just in case the temperature drops lower than the average lowest temperature. Is that
correct? Like the worst case scenario, and oftentimes that's not even reasonable.
So it's almost their best intentions ends up being their worst nightmare, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Does the industry take input and suggestions that you and your company have?
You bet. The NFPA is a group, a consortium of experts all over the world that have the opportunity to provide information and recommendations for the association to consider through their committees. And that's how these codes are developed.
I wish we had more time because you have a wealth of information, but the information you provided right here is invaluable, and I want to thank you very much for being on the program.
You bet.
This is a show that I looked forward to actually producing with your firm, primarily because we need to get the message out, don't we?
Absolutely. When I found out about this, I told my builder, and most of the homes that he builds are in the mountains, where every one of those systems, they have to have a sprinkling system in them because they may be a distance from the fire department. And he took the initiative to let all those owners that he's built for know about it. And I'd hope that the builders that see this show, or the people who see this show, will ask their builders to do the same thing.
How can they check the solution mix that's in there right now?
Well, the owner can't. I don't think he has the tools to, but there's most plumbers and most installers have a simple device that checks the solution and its mixture and can tell whether that system needs to be flushed and refilled.
And I think that's the message we want to send out on the show, and we certainly wish you much success with Allix's case, and thank you very much for being on the program. Thanks for joining us. You can get more information about our guest and the issues at insiderexclusive.com.